This League of Legends music discussion video is a bit different than the others on this channel because, unfortunately, a video file was corrupted when I was filming Gwen, and when I tried to upload it, unfortunately, things happened. So I already know a bunch about Gwen, but I want to take a deeper dive, having understood the music, and I want to compare Gwen to Viego, since the two share many similar musical themes, and also one common thing, Isolde. I believe, based on my reading, that Isolde's love for Gwen and her love for Viego are what connect both of these characters to each other. Let's take a listen to both themes and discuss them in and out of each other. And what I think you hear in Gwen's theme as we start, first of all, that same intro, that sound quality, that the shadows, the fear, the pain, the black mist, that also connects her to Viego, because Viego's music starts this way as well. Being that Viego is full of anger, full of pain, full of suffering, full of frustration, full of that drive to reclaim Isolde and merge her soul. So that music exists within Gwen, but Gwen's music is much more hopeful, much more optimistic, much more excited for the chance to live. And so you hear that. There's a lot more of a bouncy quality to Gwen's music, with a lot more determination and gumption and forward momentum and focus, whereas Viego, with these big Rachmaninoff-like chords, symbolizes sitting, brooding, pain, anguish. And so it's interesting to hear the two because they're both rooted in classical musical structures. In terms of instrumentation, the musical instrumentation is not dissimilar to what you would hear on the symphony hall stage. That being said, there is a stark difference between the two because the first half of Gwen's music is very bouncy, very enthusiastic, very forward momentum, and then in this one with Viego, it's much more backwards, sitting in that big chair, thinking about life, how he can reclaim Isolde's soul for his own. And I think that the disparity between the two is really interesting. And you notice this too in this piano. We have in Gwen's theme, we have these beautiful, beautiful arpeggiations and beautiful ostinato as we move through and sort of weave this misty, silky web of beautiful focus. Whereas in Viego, we have this. In Viego's theme, we also have that feeling of forward momentum, but the pain and anguish that comes through, it's a totally different soundscape than Gwen's theme. You hear how different the two are. That the trombones and the brass, those instruments are highlighting that rage, but it's that sorrowful energy, whereas Gwen's theme again has this hope to it, even though the instrumentation is neck to neck identical minus the music box. And now the music box, I think, represents Viego's love with Isolde, whereas Gwen's theme uses a soprano soloist. Viego's does too, but to a lesser degree. So the soprano symbolizes Isolde in Gwen's theme, and the music box represents the love that Viego and Isolde had in his theme. It's very interesting. And this too feels very reflective, very contemplative, very slow, very consideration of the past, reflecting on there are images here of Gwen being created. And so you get this feeling that Gwen is reminiscing on the beauty of her maker, and that Isolde represents life to Gwen. And for this moment, Gwen finally has a chance, based on what her lore says, has a chance to give back and to have the gift of life and to use it for, seems like good, to find Viego and to convince him to turn away from this sorrowful path that he's gone on. This introspective and beautiful guitar is giving us a sense of quiet contemplation on the past. So when that soprano takes over, that's Gwen's reflection of Isolde. That's the motivation for Gwen to go and do what she has to do. That's the motivating factor for her. Whereas with Viego, when we listen to this again, his motivation is his sorrow and his rage and his maybe even regret that she was hit with that poisoned dagger when it should have been for him. And so there is this vengeful rage of sadness, of sitting back and reflecting on the things that have come before and feeling this sense of frustration and anger and sorrowful madness that comes over him. And I think the two are really interesting. Now let's keep listening to Viego's theme again. You could easily say that this part right here is Isolde's voice as well, but from the depths of it's doubled. There's a doubled quality with the different sopranos singing, plus there's the men singing as well, which signify his army, and then over top you have that music that signifies Isolde, maybe even the fragments of her soul that have been spread across. I mean, there's a well, hold on. There's something. Feature Isolde singing. So you see, the crazy thing is that both of these themes, both Gwen and Viego, are connected by their mutual love for Isolde. And even though all this stuff happened to Isolde, causing them to have various reactions, Gwen to even be created and come to life, that is the thing that binds them. That is the thing that keeps them connected. Except the difference is that we hear Gwen's personality and demeanor, and she's ready to go to action and to not lose this chance to live her life and to do her best. Whereas Viego will stop at nothing his life is over, and so he's trying to piece it back together. And Isolde is that main crux for him, but he can't escape everything that's occurred. And so it's really interesting to hear these musically because they are literally the same instrumentation, almost as if Viego was somehow the creator of Gwen. But we understand Isolde is the connecting factor to these two, and so it's Isolde's music. This instrumentation is Isolde's instrumentation, and that's what connects the two of them. Where they choose to go in their divergent ways that's related to those characters. But it's really fascinating from a musical perspective to hear the Isolde instrumentation and the Isolde singing and the Isolde leitmotif and that music box and the guitar as Gwen is being built. And these are the things that make these themes stand out on their own, even though they have that common factor of Isolde's love and the loss of Isolde, even though that did give birth to Gwen. So as always, this is a really interesting take, certainly not something I've done yet with these League themes, but there are so many through lines and so many connecting points to all of these League characters, which makes them really interesting both to listen to and to read more about their lore. Now, of course, I have read Gwen's lore. I understand what she's looking for and what she's seeking out in the world of Runeterra. If you want more League themes, feel free to let me know which ones in the comments. I am working my way through all of them, including some of the cinematics like the call that will come on the channel eventually. As always, thanks a ton, and I'll talk to you later.